something.
Well,
It says stream is live.
we're live.
We're
you
live.
sure?
We think we are.
For reals?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm Timmy,
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan. Maybe. I don't know.
and this is Serial Tech Dudes, and it's just a random live. We decided to get together and have a random live. So we're glad you're here, if you are, and if you're not, we're just going to talk. So, yeah. So yeah.
I wish we had. If I'd have thought, I would have put FT8 up. And now I'm clicking the wrong button. There you go.
Well, that's
Anyway,
that's the thing we
watch
could
the
do.
chat.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Well, like I said, I did. My brain was like,
I'm going to
"Eat supper,
assume.
got back from the gym." Yeah.
I'm going to assume that the API for YouTube and Facebook is in play to where it will shove these comments right back into our feed. So, it would be amazing, and I'm sure it will. So,
Oh, there is a little red light up there.
yeah.
I just now noticed
This is
that.
live 59. Yeah, 60.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
goes. Okay. So I've got us live.
you do? Yeah.
Yep. I
So
see us
behave
live.
yourselves. Don't say anything that'll get us kicked off of the social media.
Oh, yeah. No,
But-
avoiding. Yeah, just
I should-
avoiding all the
I should turn on
unfortunate
the
events
machines.
last weekend.
I didn't realize I had a cardboard box on Little Chief. That's not very pretty.
Oh, poor, and a laptop too.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
That's Marcia's laptop I'm supposed to fix for him.
oh,
You're fixing a laptop. Ha
I'll learn you. Pull your pants up too, man.
Hey.
We're live here.
All right.
People are looking at this.
I was going to turn on Ninja Turtles machine, but I forgot it was unplugged, so I don't
Oh,
care that much.
that's sad.
So
It's like about 10 seconds delayed. So
yeah, I suppose that makes sense though.
Man, you got to go out
Okay.
to the interwebs, and then the interwebs got to go back to you.
Yeah.
and then in my case, I'm streaming it across the cell network. So
So
Don't
I'm
look
gonna
back,
show you
though.
something.
Hey, what's that? What's that
Almost.
feller doing?
I'm gonna show you something here, guys. Particularly Nathan. So I found the original manual for the SB201 that you so graciously put in my presence.
well, like I said, if you're going to use it, I didn't, and it might as well go to someone who's actually going to touch this thing and play around with it.
Yeah.
Fun.
So this is the book, one of the two books that would have come with it. First off, almost everybody seems to replace this power board.
I can imagine why.
Like- But here's what's cool about that. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, I gotta get. Let me put you back here for a minute so I can Google around a little.
Go full screen. There we go. So I can see it better.
Yes.
You could probably rebuild that though. If
Oh, you
wanted
could,
to.
but there's some neater stuff out there. Let me show you.
well, yeah. Probably didn't use
Let
that.
him show you now.
I'm
No.
not there yet. Nathan's like, you could do the thing. I'm like, yes, I could. I'm gonna, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do.
You know, every time we
You
do one of these
Justin
stupid
very
things, I devour an entire tin of icebreakers.
Yeah,
Oh,
every
okay.
time.
I got
Yes,
water.
like the last 3 times we've done this. Hey,
Oh,
now
man.
we're in living color.
All right. Can you see that?
I can.
All right. So there's a company that sells the things. They sell all these parts for this, and it costs a little cash. But so I'm
Rock
thinking I'm going to
electronics.
replace that. But then on eBay, you see eBay now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look at me figuring this out. They sell this one, which is, and these fit the actual spot inside the amp, and it
Oh,
replaces
just
the
pop it in, pop
voltage
that in.
divider for
Sweet.
the meter, and it's already populated, and it has modern versions of the 1970s components, which
And
is
they're much,
ideal.
much smaller.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of videos on that, and this board here is, it works, but I don't think it works, and here's why. And I've got to find the illustration. Everything in the amp
Magic
seemed to
Pokemon.
work. Well, it basically, but it didn't die. I'm trying to find the picture because I found it
I don't
earlier.
think
So
if
this
that
is
thing
the
was-
actual, being a kid, it was an
would hurt.
assembled kit, right? So what'd you say?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I said, being tube based, even though it may have, like, if that power supply went in the worst way possible, which is pure AC, it wouldn't actually hurt the tubes.
No. And it didn't
they
do
just
that,
wouldn't
thankfully. So there's the
No.
breakers. Here's the. I'm getting close. Whoever built this originally, they had some patience, but the manual is actually really good. So, I mean, it tells you every little
Yes,
thing to
I've
do.
seen a few of the ones. I had some night
Here
kits
we
back in the
are.
day, and those were amazing for
Mhm.
like the detail of how to do it. And Heathkit was the same way. So,
Yeah.
um,
Hang on just a second.
102, so your noise filters. You got a choke in mine. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So when I figured out what I was doing wrong, and what there is there's a keying circuit. This doesn't have RF sense in it like a modern amp would, right?
Yeah.
So most of your transceivers, including modern ones, still have an ability for that. Like my Kenwood has an accessory port where you can tap that, and you can also use a foot pedal, which may be what I do. But I just went ahead and rigged that up with a phono cable plugged in and shorted like it needs to be to close the circuit, and the relay kicked in and it showed the proper plate voltage. However, within about 1 minute, this capacitor right here, this little guy, exploded.
Which one? The 200?
The 200 off of the pin 3 of this tube on the back.
Exploded.
Yeah, like a shotgun. It was loud.
Mike, this little mica capacitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
I was
that's kinda
intrigued
what,
because a video I had just watched, a guy
Yeah.
was going through one of these and was doing the power board, and the same capacitor was blown on that amp.
Yeah. There's
Would
the
the
TRS-80
power board, would the power board being in a bad state, like the filter capacitors, a lot of them being bad, cause that?
Maybe, but probably not. So that is
Okay.
probably the effect of sheer ancient capacitors.
That's what I
And
wondered.
that cap is just done.
Yeah, because it has like these micas. There's one on each one, and apparently everything else seemed fine. And the plate voltage, like nothing changed. I don't know if this is a bias or what.
That's probably
because I haven't studied the schematic to see.
noise. I'm going to say that's a noise cap. I need to see the schematic, but I'm going to guess that's probably noise suppression.
Let's see if we can find it. It does. It's not the best scan I've ever seen, but it's in here.
Right, go. Yeah, the power supply. There it goes. Okay.
But it's not in the power supply. It's off the back of a tube. It's not on this page.
Okay, it's on the.
It's one of these 200s.
Oh, okay. So it's a noise suppression. Yeah, there's a lot of DC on it.
Yeah. So if it was rough, it could blow up.
Yeah. So that looks like the grid voltage. Should be.
Yep, it is pin 3. Yep.
So the grid is your control.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say that cap there is really, there's generally just DC. It's like a bias adjustment. And go back to my tube theory here. So I'm going to say that cap is just old and done.
Sure. Well, the thing was assembled in 1980, and the capacitor's power supply are dated 1980 on top. Yeah. And a couple of them got really warm, and a couple of them were ripply on top. And I wondered if the DC was rippling a lot, if it would screw that up.
No, you're just dealing with old.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That was the meat of my question, because I don't even think that's a showstopper problem, but
it's other than noise, no. It will. You want the
noise is important on HF though. So
yeah. Well, so if you remember the TRS-80 Model 3, the gray one.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, 4, the white one, the same power supplies. When I first turned that on and checked it out, smokes are rolling out. It was one of those same kind of caps. There was a noise filter on the AC line, and it smelled so bad. I missed it on video because I wasn't expecting that. I think I had like a couple seconds of the video, in the video of just it running out of there. It smelled so bad. So the second, like anyone I tell or hear about, they're like rebuilding one or whatever, I'm like, okay, go to this capacitor and just cut it out. You're better off without it than you with it. You don't need it. It's a noise filter.
It's actually the one that blew up on that blue TV too I did years ago.
Yeah,
it's the same exact capacitor.
You could put one back in later, but take it out for now. just because you don't want that stink. It's bad.
Yeah. The only other thing I noticed about that amp, and it could be the power board being goofy, or it could be old tubes, because they appear to be the original tubes. these are all things you can still get. That's what's cool about this amp is there's something and there's some mods you can make to it. There's a soft start circuit and there's a modern soft keying circuit, which is what I want to put in it for modern rigs, because otherwise you could get a lot of voltage back to your rig and it could be angry. So, but again, I might just use a foot pedal. The high voltage was a little low. It should be running about 2300 and it's only running about 1400. So on the meter. So
that's low. Yeah,
it is low. That could be bad tubes, I think. I don't think so.
That could just be or is it the meter on the front of it that you're checking it with?
Yeah, I haven't actually done a vacuum 2 volt meter on it.
So, you have a actual vacuum 2 volt meter.
I have a couple of those, yeah. So
one
of them's actually a nice Heathkit one. So
so just need to make sure they're right now. So what you can do is you can put a voltage divider on that's like a 1K resistor and a 20 meg resistor or something like that, or 100 meg ohm resistor. So you're dividing by like 10,000 or whatever, and you meter across the small one, voltage wise, and you tap the big one to the actual high voltage. That's what the big wand piece that you'd stick under an anode cap of a TV to check the voltage with. Yeah. That's all those are. It's just a voltage divider. So, but if you can actually turn your DVM that's capable of 1,000 volts into capable of like 10,000 volts by simply using a voltage divider and just being careful about it. Because it's that real high voltage, but you want to make sure you're running very high resistance total, and you just want to essentially divide by 10 or divide by 100 or whatever you want to do, and that way you can get an accurate reading with a good known digital meter.
Sure. Yeah.
And also, you can check that against your VTVM and make sure it's working. So
right. So yeah, some of the other stuff you can get for this is another example, the soft keying interface that you can get from this group, and they have a soft start module, and they're a little pricey. I thought about just building this myself. It's nothing. There's nothing special in it component wise.
Yeah.
Why is it full screen? I don't want that. Yeah, I was impressed. They've come with a lot of the pieces.
Make sure you clean all the contacts on the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
The fan could be replaced. I would probably replace the fan with a muffin fan, a more modern fan, but just moves more air. But those are pretty decent fans that are in there, so they're probably not.
It's not bad, yeah.
So that's kind of neat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking how much that amp is worth. I would never try.
I think it was restored. Yeah, I mean it's not that, but it's a pretty common one, and it is a 201 that's had the 10 meter kit put in it, which I guess you had to prove you were licensed at that point due to changes from the. That's the only difference, like you said, between the SB 200 and 201 amp. Was the 200 always had 10 meters, and the 201 only did 80. 40, 20, and 15. But then you could add 10 and they would send the updated decal and switch. So, and the tap for the 15 meter band coil, which is the only difference. So.
10 meter. So that's fun.
The reason I said 15 is it's tapped in the middle of the 15. That's how they do it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So you just put it in a spot in the middle of the 15 meter coil. So.
The SB220s had that same kit, which that makes sense because 1500 watt amp. Let's put that on CB. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Or not.
Oh man.
So
that's my adventures with that thing. So
Saturday, I'm going to one of the guys I work with is in the Bedford Jeepers. So I'll have to say hi, Bedford Jeepers. Anyway, but they're wanting help setting up all their radios, which they use GMRS. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take my antenna tuner or antenna tester, and then my SWR bridge and all that kind of stuff, and and some other test equipment. We'll go through all those because he's telling me how they hooked them up, and I'm like, oh, that's not good, because they're like, yeah, we can't. These radios only talk like a mile, and then they're just done. I'm like, 50 watts, you're only getting a mile? Yeah, you got something wrong.
Oh, geez. Well, you either know or you don't know. So
well. That's like on the back of my Jeep when I put that foot long, essentially peeled 59 extension.
Yeah.
That thing went from barely able to use it and essentially heading south toward the Bedford repeater 7.3. It was useless. Like it would not work until I got over the county line.
Wow.
to where it works just fine all the way from Bloomington all the way to the repeater.
Right.
With no problem. Just kicking it up a foot, get it above that. There's in that back corner, there's a metal roll bar type thing. And this just got it above that. And then it's so much happier. And they're having the same issue. So we're gonna figure out that kind of stuff this weekend. Go to a friend of mine's house and look through all that because he's like, it's not making sense. It should work. And I'm like, well, yeah, I can tell you why it's not. So we might be modifying a lot of that stuff. I'll make sure I shoot some video of it and we can enjoy the Jeep community, because honestly the Jeep community is a big radio community, even though most of them are GMRS and some FRS, but a lot of them would really, I think, find ham radio fascinating. But just from the general hobby, they're trying to use this stuff just kind of like old CBs talking between vehicles, because they just want to go off road with the Jeeps and that kind of stuff, which is really fun.
Right.
But they want to be able to talk and they can't make this stuff work. And I'm like, I could probably help you there. So and just looking at what they've done, they're just mounted everything. And like Jeeps only have like so many mounts. That's why like the mount on mine is not standard, yet it works better.
Yeah. And it does seem to work pretty good.
Yeah, because I know how RF works.
Right.
And I understand what you don't want an antenna here and a bar of metal here. It just does not.
Right.
Work. So so we're gonna work on that Saturday, and then
nice.
I'll take a trip for work out to the East Coast this next week, but
Yeah.
if I can find something really cool out there that I'm allowed to take video of, I'll shoot them and send it to you. We can look at it. I don't know, it's debatable. So, but yeah, that ought to be fun.
Yeah. So hopefully you get back in time, because Nathan and I are plotting. I am definitely plotting. I'm pretty stinking serious about it at this point, to do the ARRL 222 and up VHF contest. So distance contest. I gotta say right, VHF distance contest. Yeah. So
and I should be back Friday.
Sweet.
So my flight back is Friday. So it's going to be pretty.
I'll get some info on that, because I think it would be cool if a lot of people around.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to use our streaming software. Sorry, guys.
Did you break something?
No, I just don't know what I'm doing. Share this tab instead. Then I got to put it on the deck. There we go. All right.
Look at that.
So,
all right.
This is the contest I'm talking about. It's August 3rd and 4th. It uses the same timing that Field Day does, basically 1800 UTC to 1759 the next day, which is 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is an interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. It's every band starting at 222, so you can't use 2 meters, which makes it different than the other 2 VHF contests each year, which are also include 6 meters and 2 meters, and are not for distance. So how this works? Okay. This is the actual rules, but how it works is you have to know your full 6-digit grid square. So if we were to work from the Ham Club, it's EM68RS. I'm QU. So the last two. But you do a real simple deal, and to score it, it's by kilometers to that grid square, which you can use Google Earth or a lot of other pieces of software to find that, times a band multiplier, right? So where's it show?
Go back up to those. I want to look at those frequencies they're using there. Right there.
Well, those are just band marks.
Oh, band marks. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah. So you
go.
multiply the distance in kilometers by the band factor. So the easiest band to use this contest, obviously, is 70 centimeters.
Yeah, so which everyone has.
You don't multiply that. 222 times 2. We plan to run 222 and 432. So unless
maybe I've got a 1.2 gig tribander or quad band HT. So we technically have 1200. 2.4 is the same band used or 2.3. It's essentially the same band used for BG Wi-Fi. So I can't imagine how noisy that is.
Right.
That's probably at this point that's essentially unusable.
Right. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But so we're fixing to do that hopefully.
You're a fixin' to, are you?
Fixing to. Let me share one more thing here.
Can't tell you're from Indiana.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And considering the fact that the log LTW is back up now, finally.
Yes, I'm happy about that. What isn't quite up is the log of the contest page, which is still in some sort of temporary mode. Where did it go? I want to see the scores. Somewhere I found the scores from the past. Okay, well, anyway,
Yeah.
we got to get people on these bands. I'm excited about it. So we'll be running 222 FM because we don't have a transverter. I've looked into buying a 10 meter to 222 transverter so I can run single sideband. But
And
on
I tried to
70
find,
centimeters,
I tried to find FT736R with the
Yeah.
220 module, and they're like really up there.
well,
price,
even the old Icom multi-band model that you used to see selling QRZ for 1700 plus, and they only have 25 watts out or something. So,
well,
but you can get a transverter for less than that runs 100 watts. So,
yeah.
and then you just drive it with 10 meters. So, with your HF rig. So we'll be running, like I said, 222 FM, and we'll be running 70 centimeter everything. So that would be single sideband, FT8, and FM if we choose.
And if we get it to work, I'm going to try and come up with some kind of way to make the 1.2
I got
or
something
the
to show you,
1200 megahertz. The 1200 megahertz thing work, but it's FM only. So working on that one. I have some 900 stuff, but I doubt we're going to get anything working on that good.
Well, why not? I mean, this is the day that you could, because that's the only time you're gonna find people on the daggum band during one of these contests. Look what I got.
Yeah.
I got to put this full screen now.
Metal
Look
pole.
at here. Look at here.
No. Doing?
I got an Alliance tenor rotor with a pole, and I got the
Nice.
box, and it works.
Hey.
So
Nice.
it's actually a new old stock one. It has had the Mega Lit and everything. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
yeah. I put the pole in it. So
Is that some of the stuff from the Basement of Fun?
it is.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I actually have 2 or 3 more sets of those that work.
Yeah. The musty basement of joy. Yeah.
You don't like smells in outdoors, I've noticed. That basement didn't bother me a bit. Nathan was like, I'm going to die after like an hour.
And yet
Oh,
he
really?
almost never complains at the ham club.
which used to sting to
Oh,
high
no.
heaven. So
Yeah. There's a couple times I walked in there and went, oh, God. But now, the last meeting and field day was great. It
Yeah.
didn't really have
You're
any
welcome.
smells, but yes,
it was,
thank you.
and it still smells nice. I was out there last week, I think.
Yeah.
I'll let
With no dead
Rick
animals
in to
and
work
no
on
poop
something.
everywhere. So
So,
great.
Bleach and
know.
large quantities of water will do that.
yeah. So far it's holding up. We're gonna have to keep our eye on it though. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to put our antennas for this contest, primarily are a big 13 element Cushcraft 222 beam. I've got big Yagi beam. It's very large. And then we're going to stick I'm hoping we can stick a 70 centimeter on top of this pole. And then we're going to put it on my tripod mast to maybe guy it.
All right. Sweet.
I think that'll work fine on that hill. Plus we can turn it. So.
Good. Well, I got the one, so that 440 beam, which
Mhm.
works pretty good.
Yeah, I said we can use whatever you want to use. So
Yeah, I'll see if we can do FT8 on 440.
I can. I can. Well, you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, absolutely. 432.074.
And for the 1.2 gig,
Yeah.
I have FM, but I don't have any other. It's just an HT.
Hey, a lot of guys make some contacts on FM though. I mean, FM is in play in these contests. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll see if I can come up with some kind of antenna. It'd be neat to be able to take that big dish and make it work, but
yeah,
I mean, it's only massive and heavy, so yeah.
yeah. So that's August 3rd. Get on the air, all of you. Even if you're not in the contest, you can just know your 6-digit grid square. You'll be helpful to us because we can count you as a contact.
Yeah. So we're gonna try this at the club site.
That's what I want to do.
Let's
God
get the
forbid
height.
we'll use it for ham radio and all that. And the
Yeah.
height's
What
ridiculous.
a weird
So,
concept.
yeah.
What's wrong with you? Second highest point in the county. Why would
Yeah.
you use that?
Yeah, it's 860. There are no unobstructed hills directly east or south for a full state in both directions. There,
Yeah.
there might be on the
So-
other degrees of spot, but it's a good
No.
spot. And then you put it on a little mast and a beam, and we got some pretty hot gain going into Illinois and Kentucky. A lot of guys work this up in Illinois, so I have no doubt we'll make some contacts. We're going to have a score of some sort.
Yeah.
So, but
Kinda
it's not
wants
like
to
field
be-
day. It's not hammer it
Yeah.
down as hard as you can. It may be spotting and looking online and saying, "Hey, we're here," and just calling CQ a lot. So,
Yeah. Well, it's
so they
just
can
yeah,
aim their
especially when
beams
you
at
got
us.
the eight,
So.
but it'd be nice to be able to set. If we could use that tower, it'd be great. I almost kind of want to go in there and pay. I've got a diplexer, whatever it is. So it's a splits 2 meter 440
That's a
So-
diplexer. Yeah.
diplexer. You take
Yeah.
the diplexer, split the antenna for the 7.3, take the 440 side off of that. It's omni.
Is
but,
it dual band? I didn't know. It was
Yeah,
dual
I
band
think it
too.
was.
But I don't
For
see a
sure.
reason we can't. If it is, we can.
Yeah, they'll keep the
Nothing in
meter
the
up.
contest says we can't. I mean, a lot of these guys are running it on their big setups. So
I mean, why can't we use a 200-foot tower?
yeah, definitely.
The high gain vertical on top.
At field day, I hooked to that antenna for a little bit and ran 2 meter FT8, and it was a whole lot better than here at the house. I think I worked 4 stations in 15 minutes on 2 meter FT8. And they were in Terre Haute, Indianapolis, Illinois, places like that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So I kind of want to try. I have to. We need to like split it and put a watt meter and just see if it is with the SW bridge and see if it is
right.
actually 440 or if it's going. Nope, it's 100. Like infinite SWR. Be like, yeah, okay.
All right.
Dang it! Why can't we put a 200-foot? But yeah, it is what it is. But hopefully we can do something like that. It'd be fun, man. Has some real height. That'd be.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward. I like HF. I run FT8 on HF. I've made some contacts lately. I got my Kenwood right here, my TS140. Excuse me, out here in the office, and I've made a couple contacts on it lately on phone, which I wish I did more because I always enjoy it. But then I'm like deal with some sort of weirdo mic fright. Like I don't know, I haven't encountered too many angry ham radio guys. They're all like, "Hey, how you doing?" Good old boys. But
Yeah.
I have enjoyed the challenge of VHF weak signal contests. There's something different when you're doing something that doesn't make sense, like a 225-mile contact on 2 meters, without repeaters or anything else. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty far.
Well, hopefully we'll have. I hate to ask, wish for storms, but hopefully, because some of the storms you get some great ducting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yesterday when it was
Wow.
storming, I was every chance I got between lightning going back and relaunching my 2 meter setup to see if I could work anything. Let me see here.
Yeah. 'cause
Speaking
that
of
was-
ham radio fun, let me share this tab. Let me put this on the deck.
I'm just
Bam.
looking at the chat in case someone chats with us.
I don't think anybody's watching us.
There's
Sometimes.
2.
Oh, are there?
Yeah,
Are you
not
one
you
of
now.
them?
Yeah, well, you're
I'm
one of
probably
them. So this is a QRZ log, which I actually sync this with Logbook of the World. That's why they're all green.
Yep.
And the green circle that shows ones that have been confirmed on Logbook. In fact, I'm going to do that now. Maybe. Can't remember if this does text or not. Okay, good. I want to give away my password. I'd have to get a new postcard. 4 new confirmations and a record added. Yay.
Nice. Yeah.
So this is just today things I've worked. So and last
Nice.
night. See, I worked KB9 TVR out in Illinois. He's all the way over by St. Louis. 2 meters. Isn't that crazy?
Sweet.
Yeah. How far? 213 miles. So I've worked him
So
several
beam
times.
are you just using Omni?
I am just using a vertical on my tower. I'd do a lot better if I had a beam. So up that high.
Yeah.
If I go here, I've got a bunch of filters set up. I'm a psychopath. These are all the things I've worked and places I've worked. And you can't see the distances here, but I'm in Echo Mike 68, so grid squares are pretty big. So here's 49 over there in Illinois, 79 up north. No, it's in Ohio. It's over by Cincinnati. This guy. So the furthest one I ever worked, and you see a lot of the same calls. I don't know if you noticed that. I think the furthest one I worked is this guy in Georgia, 349 miles on 2 meters one morning.
Nice.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
Oh, you broke it. You made it angry.
it's because I'd set that filter. There we go. Another one, I think it was this one. This one, okay, that's not quite as far. That's Missouri. Got one that was way crazy far out there. I don't remember which one it was. I should add this guy.
Man.
No, that guy's
No,
in
5
Indiana.
in the morning comes mighty early.
Yeah, you tired?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to my flight out. I got
Here he is.
3,
5. So yeah, what did I say? The other one was 300.
something like that. Yeah, it was 500.
Yeah, this is my distance record here to Rembrandt, Iowa, on 2 meters, 524 miles.
Oh, wow.
So, that's nuts. Of course, this guy. Yeah.
I
Let me
don't know
see
where that
here.
one's at, actually. That's interesting. I have friends in Iowa, but
Yeah. Has he moved? He's moved. He used to be in Iowa. Now he's in West Virginia. How about that? So,
oh wow,
because I was like, why is that going west? That line when it's should be going, or why is it east? Well, all right. How about that? Or
How
maybe
about
I'll
them
work.
taters?
Maybe I'll work him again.
so is it 4 now? Probably. Well, if you change this, call it.
Yeah.
4 now. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of weak signal VHF. I just don't have the big beam set up yet to do it. So one of these days I might, because now I'm
Yeah.
thinking things like, oh, now I want to run power. Now I want to run more than 50 watts, which is the most 2 meter power I have right now. And then I discovered my old 70 watt amp works. I'm like, oh, well, it's 20 more, and it does do SSB. So
Yeah.
but I'm running this deal where I don't have the gain to get these guys. Plus, a lot of them are in horizontal when they're doing this, and I'm in vertical. So,
That's
oops. Yeah.
that's a headache right there. Yeah, it's back in the day. That's why I had a 2 meter beam on horizontal, one on vertical.
However, I also hear things like once you're out past 80 miles, the bend of the atmosphere, if you're pulling this off, it doesn't matter as much. I'm like, well, that makes some sense
Oh,
because that's HF
I-
like.
not heard that one, but
I have, but I don't know that I've heard officially because I've always understood the horizontal versus vertical polarity matters.
yeah, it's supposed
But
to
does
according
only-
to textbook.
Does
but
it only matter if it's line of sight? That's the thing. What if it's being refracted by sporadic E or meteor scatter even, which it does play a part in these because if you've ever, and of course, I don't, you guys aren't as big FT8ers. You've both been around it and have used it some, but 2 meters is wild. It's like the fade that you get in 10 meters, which is slow, but it's fast. Like you'll get one decode and see it fade off the waterfall that fast, like within 15 seconds. And if it holds up for 45 seconds, you can make a contact. And that's how a lot of these worked. A lot of them were early morning. Some of them were tropoducting, like after storms. So
yeah, tropoducting. Well, that can last seconds.
Yep.
Or days. And I've seen it do days.
There's
It's
a
been long time.
guy with the call AC9HP up in Indianapolis, and I've worked him on a lot of the bands, but I was calling CQ on 2 meters a day on my laptop here. I have it set next to my work computer and I remote into where my rig is in the house and just run FT8 that way. I preset the power and then I don't have to mess with it. So, hey, Greg, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Greg.
See, let's try this. I've never tried this.
Uh-oh. Hey.
There you go.
Checking.
What's up, Greg?
How's it going?
But yeah, so I'm remoted in there. I'm running FT8, and I got in there, and this guy, I'm calling CQ like 15 times. I set the time out to like 10 minutes. I just let her call at full 50 watts, CQ KB9SNL EM68 over and over and over.
Yep.
And suddenly I realized there's a decode in the window, and it's AC9HP EM79 or whatever it is up in Indy. And
How'd you get bone on your chin? Thanks, Norm.
we're we got to do this right. Are we talking about Justin here? That's probably what I think. Oh God. Anyway, I got that one decode. All right, I got that one decode, and he was gone, faded away.
Yeah.
So, too bad. Still haven't worked him on 2 meters. Seen him a few times, but I was at 89 miles. Sometimes that's harder than the ones that are. And I don't know if they have big beams or what, but like I can get into, if I call CQ on 2 meters right now for 10 minutes, I will get decoded at least once in Illinois and probably once in Ohio every time at about 180 miles. I don't know if it's that they're set up or if just the lay of the land makes it do that well. I don't know. So I'm running about 40-foot tower at 680 above sea level is where I'm at. So no.
I don't remember how high I'm at. A little higher than that, I think. Not much.
Yeah, you are. I'm down in a hole.
Yeah, I might be like 20 foot above that. That's I don't have a tower, so I need to. I've been
You need to just get a tower. You just do it.
I could dig a hole.
Justin needs an even bigger tower.
Well, yeah.
That's what she said.
Buy me one.
We'll just make one out of that Subaru. I mean, it's got enough metal on it, right?
No. I like my Subaru.
What is that? Must be on Justin's.
What?
It's like dong, dong.
Oh, that may have been me banging
It's
into
not
the
me.
mic.
I'm over here tapping my thing.
Oh my.
Mm.
Yeah, the things I got to do obviously right here is build it, put a tower together because I've got let's see, HF 2 meters, a 6 meter, a couple 440. Yeah, I got like 7 beams to put on this thing.
Yeah. There's a question. I think it needs addressed.
We probably will try, not every week. I'm actually out this next week, but
So our plan
we should.
has been to do a ham radio video every Tuesday.
That failed miserably after Logbook
That-
of the World came back.
Yeah, and well, partly because I kept getting on the radio again because Logbook was keeping me away from it because it messed up my logging flow and I didn't want to change it. So, but now it works again. So I've ran
messed
hundreds
up.
of contacts the last 2 weeks.
But
But
messed up Tim's feng shui.
that's really true. So we realized we had a life, I guess, and also we don't have that much to talk about. But ham radio can always get on here and pretend we know what we're doing, because it's you two after all. And so yes, Tuesdays would be when we would try to do this.
Yeah.
7 p.m. except when we're not available on Tuesdays, but it's going to be hit and miss. But that is our target goal. So yes.
Is it?
And
now?
I'm thinking there's going to be more lives. Yeah, because I think I enjoy this more and I don't have to edit it later.
We'll
So,
definitely be unavailable at least one Tuesday a month.
yeah.
But Greg will be there, so that's okay.
Yeah, a lot of times. You know.
He should be there anyway. You should be there, Greg.
So I'm going to do a presentation at that ham club meeting,
Ooh,
and it's going to be called Why Log?
yeah,
Why log?
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you. You'll have to learn at the meeting. So, but I have some bullet points. So
You
we're
got a
gonna-
fancy schmancy presentation you're going to
You
do?
betcha, buddy.
Oh,
I've already
boy.
started on it. So because
So
I
logged on.
used to never
quickly
log.
become a Minnesotan?
So don't you know? Don't you know? It's up here in the north. Poser.
Yeah.
No, that's
The
Canadian.
north of
Uh,
Fayetteville.
the north. Yeah. One of 9 million Fayettevilles in the country. So
There you go. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's one of the bigger ones, right? It's got a Dollar General in it and everything.
Yeah,
What
but that's-
doesn't have a
that's not
Dollar
unique
General?
anymore.
Jeez. LA County, we have what, 14 Dollar Generals in this county now.
Yeah. So yeah, now I want to run power, and now I'm going to have almost a kilowatt, but that's being hard on it. I'm going to have more like 500-600 watts on HF, which means I'll probably get on HF more just so I can bust pile-ups. So,
Actually, I think it's going to mean you're going to upset Melissa more.
well, she probably thinks I spend a lot of time with it anyway, and I do.
No, I'm more thinking
That's
like
actually why I
it's gonna
keep the radio in the house. So the
Yeah.
main one.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd
I'm
have
just
it out here
thinking-
in the playroom. But
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's going to cause a difference to like television, the radio. And
I was going
everything.
to say,
It might.
there's a Indian-based pinball machine that's just begging to be rebuilt still.
yeah, and I'd really like to have it done by October.
Yeah, Ham 2K
M2K
Polo.
locker. Really? See, that's not one I've heard of. So,
Huh. Like that.
speaking of parks on the air, I've
Yeah.
recently been bitten by that bug after managing to avoid it for a while. And you know why?
A few. I've worked a bunch
Sure.
of parks on the air.
You know,
But you don't log, so you're not getting the benefit of this. Actually, you
Well,
might be.
There's
I am.
vaccinations. There's vaccinations you can take for that being bitten.
So,
True.
Just
I
saying.
logged mine.
So,
yeah, I logged
you know
mine
what
on
turned the table on me?
100%.
Like I thought parks on the air would have like special exchanges and stuff, like then you had to log it a certain way. I was very wrong. You get the awards off of the other guy's logs. So see this little widget I put on my QRZ page, and it shows all these ones I've worked on FT8 the last few days.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've already got some sort of endorsement, and I haven't uploaded Jack to this site. I just went to their site,
Nice.
which here you go. And I signed up for an account at POTA.app. And you can go see the spots, and it shows who's
I
on
need
there
to do
right
that.
now. And it is cool. And that's all you got to do, sign up for the account, and you can start and you can come in and see your
Nice.
yeah. See if I can use
Oh,
this
sweet.
site.
Yeah. So I logged all mine through QRZ. So
Yep.
because I like their logging program, and I
Yeah.
don't care about contests.
So look, I go to the awards and on their main site, and you can see the parks hunted. Next award at 20 unique parks. See, this is the paper chasing never attracted me till it got into the digital era, like 20 years ago when I was a young ham, since I'm still apparently a young ham.
You'll always be a young ham.
I'm telling you, till I'm old. All this
Well,
stuff
okay.
took work. You had to exchange papers.
Technically,
And
John's a
things.
young ham, but you know.
Yeah. So once I realized that, but I'm
Sorry.
planning to do some activations. So,
Okay, so you want to grab
Yeah.
everything, go down to a park or something like that.
yep, I'm gonna.
Everything with- So that would be cool to do with. I think that'd be cool to do with friends. Just go down there and set up whatever you set up to make it work.
Yeah.
But
Around here, Spring Mill State Park is popular. It's usually a state park or state entity. That's kind of where you're limited. There's a little nature preserve out past Leesville here in Lawrence County. It's actually in Jackson County, way out in the middle of nowhere. It's called Hemlock Bluff Nature Preserve, and it's not been activated too many times. So,
they dropped the K designation for.
oh,
Such use.
he said this too. So he's talking about that logger, this one. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's cool.
I'll say.
Yeah, I have to mess with that. Yeah, 'cause
but
I've got, like,
I
I
thought it was
know
cool. You
my-
just sign up, and I thought it was cool. It works off of their logs. So I'm like, well, that's a cool thing.
That is actually pretty neat. Yeah, I'll have to try that because I wonder if you can. Well, since you can connect QRZ to that,
Yep.
then I can keep my regular logbook going. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Might have to actually try that. I should do that from the Jeep because just a Jeep thing.
Lordy. Build you an antenna and make it look like a duck. So, but yeah, I'm gonna. Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay,
It took me a minute to remember
Yeah.
what you're talking about, Greg. Yeah, because they all had the K indicators. I remember that now. Yeah. And I think it's
that's
cool because
US.
I did work one in
Okay.
South America last night that's already on there. So that's pretty wicked.
Oh, I
So,
see.
yeah, because Parks on the Air was an ARRL thing for like 1 year in 2017, and people loved it so much that it basically became its own organization after that. So it's still going strong. So, and then there's
Yeah. That's
summits
good,
on the air, and there's islands on the air. A little hard to find islands and
Yeah,
summits in
there's,
Indiana, but
Lighthouse is on the air, like activated lighthouse thing. So
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
saw somebody, I think it was a joke, but I thought it was hilarious. Somebody said we should do Walmart parking lots on the air. And I'm like, I would absolutely do that too.
That just won't go well.
Dollar General's on the air.
Dollar General. There you go.
I got ham sticks now. I can go mobile if I really wanted to.
Oh yeah, I gotta get a few of those. I thought about doing that. I thought about like setting that up to where I could do, like if I had the multi-band ham stick, the one you select the band. I want to put one of those in my Jeep, but then have a second one, so
Like
if I get one
screwdriver or
going, I can
something.
take it off. Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
the one you tap. It's not the
Yeah, I
screwdriver.
don't know what it's called,
Marshall had.
but I know what
one,
you're talking
too.
about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little burger
N9 PWW. That's
Yeah,
a pretty good
Marshall.
Marshall impression, wasn't it? Yeah. How you doing, guys?
It's Marshall. But yeah, no, I think it'd be really fun.
I don't need to start impersonating hams on here. That's a problem. All right.
Or it could be a
Marshall
talent.
might get that. Marshall would laugh at that, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure Greg thinks we're insane anyway. So that's
So how about those world events? Yep, let's not do that.
Oh, I'm just so happy that it had nothing to do with ham radio.
Goodness.
Yet.
And feel so sorry for obviously the people who got the guy who got killed in the fence.
Said we weren't going there, but we're going there.
And there he goes.
I'm trying to avoid politics as much as possible. I mean,
Yep.
I feel sorry.
That'll be the
for
end of
the
what
people.
little bit we've built out of Three Old Tech Dudes.
There we go.
Well,
It's done.
Do something.
Press my
no,
favorite airplane.
nothing happened.
Nope, nothing happens. It's good. All the good in the world.
just
There's another
go look
eclipse
up-
coming. That's what happened.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's just nothing happy happened. It was.
It will be
bad.
hugely big. It will be the greatest of the
Right.
big.
Yeah.
Kofefi.
Like our entire discussion at work today.
I
Anyway,
thought I'm in a locked server room. I don't have to interface with people. Although I did have to do a staff meeting today. That was no fun.
How was it?
I just put my headphones on and write code, and I'm just happy. So yeah.
I fall asleep in meetings until I hear, like, I have this uncanny ability to recognize my name when I'm in a trance, and it just snaps me out of it, and then I start giving a report.
You're just Justin. Yeah.
Oh,
Here's how many
Yeah.
computers we have on the shelf. Here's how many computers we have deployed.
Yeah.
Corporate sucks. Yay.
Anything you say in this video can and will be held against you in the wrong company. Warning.
That's all right.
No doubt. But in the world of ham radio,
I'll go push,
back to
I'll go
that.
push carts at Walmart.
So what you guys been doing with ham radio? You been doing anything with it other than running our ham club? That's not really the same. It's related.
I cut the
Yeah.
end off of coax and shoved
Yeah?
it into my car and then did nothing else with it.
Oh, you're getting there though. So what's that project?
Well, that project is a new vehicle. Well, new to me vehicle. And it lacked a ham radio setup of any type. See ya.
You see what he said? He's out, but you got to realize I have to watch a different ham radio live show. I like you guys better though. See you, bud.
Oh,
I have a
no,
feeling
yeah.
that other show's more popular. So
Well, that's okay. I think it's I'm trying to get the stuff in my Jeep working better, but I've just got so much things going on. I haven't had time to mess with it. I do have everything at least hooked up and running. And since we took the top off the Jeep completely this last weekend and we put it all back on, I just
is that
left
a
the
Jeep
coax.
thing too?
It is a
Oh
Jeep
yeah,
thing.
that was all kinds of fun.
I bet it was fun.
Did
Did you get your foot
no
pegs yet?
doors on top, huh?
Did you get your
What's
foot
that?
pegs yet?
Yeah,
Foot pegs. Yeah. Those are
Yep.
good.
those are fun. Yeah, it's we have to do a trip in the. We'll just have to do a little bit of a trip in the Jeep. Take everything off. Well, it's not going to rain, obviously. Take everything off, complete top off, take the doors off, and just go cruise a little bit because it is actually a lot of fun.
Right.
So
I have a
will say,
sunroof.
You have a sunroof?
It's almost the same.
yeah, there you go.
Three-
Well,
Or are my doors open?
Yeah.
so imagine taking your Subaru, cut the top off of it completely, and take the doors off.
Yeah, but I can roll all my windows down and have my sunroof open, and then when it starts to rain, I can shut it all back up and be just fine.
Well, so there's a thing called a Sunrider, which is just a flap that you can open up. It's the same idea, but yeah, yeah. We'll have to try that with the Jeep one of these days. I'll have to get you guys. We'll just go out and maybe do FT8 mobile, which would be kind of fun, I think.
Maybe we'll just call CQ.
Good.
CQ40, Kilo Bravo 9, Sierra November Lima.
Is there Jeeps
Yeah.
on the air?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. There should be.
There's nets specific to hobbies occasionally. HF nets are a different beast. I enjoy them, but I checked into one. It was the 6-8 net on 40 meters. And it was just dudes that rag chew from 3 to 5 p.m. So I checked in and had my little rag chew, and then I had a 7.3 round, but it was like 2 hours later. So
Dang.
it's different than these 2-meter nets where it's like, give me an ISNL, no traffic, no comment. I'm like, well, why'd you key up? Why? Well, do you want to talk, or do you just like to check in? There's no, like, nobody
Man,
wins.
you got to blow the cobwebs out of that radio every once in a
blow
while.
cobwebs out. Yeah, heat them piles.
Well, that's also the difference between a rag chew net and a emergency services net. And Aries Racy's net, it's always just like, boom, 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 done. Whereas a rag chew net, it's like, oh, let's talk for the next 5 hours.
Yeah, here's the thing. When I was net control for a hot minute there, I tried to make it a rag chew net, and it didn't go well. Like,
yeah.
So I came up with the concept that we would have a question to pose to, all of the check-ins. And usually people answered my question, but they answered it as quickly as possible.
So back in, just a little before we kind of got together as a group, there was what was her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she ran the nets for a while. But she actually did that intentionally. She had a question. She talked to people and whatnot.
So these dudes, I mean, they like have web pages and everything. And there's a bunch of them like this.
Yeah.
And I ran across these guys, and they were cool. So
yeah,
and it's just like,
and he's got a nice little stack of radios there.
I don't know. It's like 100,000 people on this net. It kind of blew my mind. So
wow.
Dang.
And they're all over the place. So
any Jeeps?
No. There's a dude in Pigeon Forge with a screwdriver.
Nice.
Beware of the ham radio operator. All right. I pick on the ham radio sites a lot because they all look like they were made in 1998, but sometimes they're funny, and that's a little funny.
I mean, it's getting the job done. It's That's like that one guy with the antenna on the helmet there. Back in the day, I took Sarah to Dayton, and this is back when I was still at Hare Arena. And there was a guy walking around with a hard hat with a little rubber duck, like ducky duck, sitting on top of it, like the duck you give to Jeepers now. And, but that was the antenna, right? And Sarah's just looking at him like, I'd never seen Sarah speechless, but she was like, what? She literally was like, what?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like,
there's always like a dude like cameras on a hard hat doing ATV.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, whatever.
So I was like, yeah, and she was like, why? I mean, it took her like a minute and a half to get the whole why out it was going to. I'm like, yeah, I can explain this quite easily. Geeks of the world unite. And then she's like, oh, okay. And just went on and just said, that's fine, whatever. Although she did laugh at Dayton because the only place she'd ever been, the line to the women's restroom is shorter than the line to the men's restroom.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Yeah.
I asked her if she wanted to go with me this last year. She's like, no, it's okay. I'm good. Even though she has a cousin that lives like 10 minutes away.
Right. So what you're saying is she's not getting a call sign. I already knew that was the case.
No, she's
zero interest.
No,
my wife doesn't have any either. So
yeah. Let's put it this way: when we're at church, they sit together. I pray for our souls.
It's all right.
That's
all
good. It's kind of too, but yeah. No, I'm hoping to get. I'm in the middle right now trying to set my shack back up, my ham shack back up, and I want to get everything set up in the right place. And I have that.
I need to get you on there because I want to try Vara AC or Varac with somebody, which is HF chat. You can do it on FM too, but I thought we'd do that on 10 meters. That'd be fun. And it uses the Vara HF modem protocol, which is used with the WinLink, but you just grab a channel, the channels that's available in the software, and connect directly to the other guy, and you can talk back and forth like you're on online, but it's not all hokey and full of nasty characters like PSK 31 always used to be. Plus, it's faster. So
Yeah. Now you could do that with Packet back in the day.
you could, but nobody does that anymore. Okay, some
Packet
people
was-
probably do it, but I have
Well,
not done it. So
I'm
this sounds easier.
trying to put Packet back on the air. I'm trying to
Well,
put my Packet system
If
back.
you
in
do
the
it, I
air.
will too. I've got a couple TNCs.
So I've got 2 or 3 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
A lot anyway.
Right.
And but I'm going to do it right. I'm going to use at least a Windows XP machine, if not before.
Ooh, jeez.
I'll
Classic.
make sure it's out there, hooked to the internet, so it's just massively attacked with viruses. But not.
I've got a whole pile of old desktops over here, all of which work under low hours if you want an XP desktop. So, it would be
Well, I mean, I'll
perfect.
probably throw Linux on, to be honest with you, run the Linux, because there's a I know it's sad. Linux, but I'm a Mac guy actually, because I'm on a Mac
You will
now.
embrace your penguin. Yeah,
What's that?
I got a little sick there. He says a Mac guy.
You will embrace your what?
You
Oh,
you
no.
endeavored into the Mac world there for a while, Timmy.
I got over it. Hang on a second.
Okay, if you insist.
I mean, I have Windows machines too, so and I have Linux machines, so just, I use what I use. That's what it is. So for me,
I tried
think
Chrome
I'm just
OS
gonna
there for a hot minute. That
yeah.
didn't.
Well, we have Chromebook too. We paid like I won it, but it was a high end Chromebook. It still is updating 10
Now,
years
see,
later.
I took a Windows PC and hacked Chrome OS onto it.
Well, you have to hack it.
Now they actually have a variant for it.
Yeah, you just download it and install it.
Well, when I did it, you had to do a little trickery.
Yeah, but it wasn't like making a Hackintosh. It was just
Yeah.
a little more work to make it run.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Timmy.
look what I got.
So you found an amp.
Hold state
Hey.
fire.
I've had this for
Uh,
years.
Band?
Right. It's a 2 meter.
2 meter.
it's-
Okay.
It's a 2 meter. It's a KLM, which later apparently became Mirage, which then was bought by
Yep.
MFJ. So I thought this didn't work because the LED was out and I never checked that close. Then I thought, well, that's stupid. So I grabbed my Heathkit Cantina. You know what that is, right? The RF resistor, big old.
Is that the one I got for you?
I have that one still. This one is a different one. This one was out of the stinky basement you don't like. So,
That's right,
yeah. So I had tested it with my HF rig and it took the full 100 watts with no issues. I didn't know if it had enough oil in it, so I just kind of gambled with it and said I sent it. So I said 10 watts. Oh, still 1.2 to 1. 100 watts, 1.5 to 1. That's good enough. So that's what it's rated on the side of the can. So
what's the amp rated for?
Oh, I don't know. It said it can do 1,000 watts for 10 minutes. I think after that it explodes or something. So.
Neat.
No. What's the?
That sounds
the
like a fun video.
Oh,
Let's see.
it does, doesn't it? The amp is a 70 watt 2 meter amp.
70 watts. Okay. All right.
And
So
so I
I've
put
got
I put a Baofeng on it and I keyed it into that Cantina, and by God, it did 70 watts. So
there you go.
you got real warm
Nice.
too, like they do. So I was happy.
Well, yeah, you always put. So I've got the 2 meter 150. It's I think it may be a Mirage actually. No, RF concept. No, it's not RF concept. It's a.
Hey,
no,
you
it's
got a
Mirage.
2 meter one too.
A 2 meter 110 in or 2 in 150 out.
What?
And the 4.
I've never
What?
seen a guy with amps that doesn't use them.
He has a bunch of everything that he doesn't use.
He has
You
150
see
watt
my
2 meter amp.
base-
You realize the FD8 I could do with 150 watts?
Do you want to borrow it for a while? Because I never use it. I mean, I want it
do
back.
want to
You-
borrow it. I won't
I'll
run it at
bring
full
it out to
power
your
either.
house later.
I don't want to burn it up.
Okay.
I won't
Well,
burn
don't
it
do
up.
that.
No, I'll just run it. I'll run it at
I think the worst you
I'll
can
run
do is
it-
probably pop
I'll run
the
it at
transistor.
80%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you pop the transistor, you just put a new one in it. It's not hard to.
Sometimes I
bolt it in.
see 2 meter guys that can't hear me, but I can get them really well on FT8, and that means I need a beam or I need more fire in the wire.
So I used to run. Yeah,
Sounds like
used
I
to
can
run-
borrow some fire. That's what I'm hearing.
That takes some. Well, I gave you that big power supply too, didn't I?
Yeah, I think I have the power supply that you need to run your amps. That's what I think.
Well, at this point, I don't run them. So
I noticed that.
they've been it's much like that one amp. These have been sitting since
Yeah. Well, tell you
the
what,
late '90s.
you know what else we should do? We should run the VHF contest in January, which includes 2 meters because we run
Yes.
power. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the parts. I have the parts to build up a 500 watt 2 meter amp
yeah,
using 4 CX 250Bs.
Yeah,
Actually,
could
my
be
wife is
cool.
calling me. My wife's calling me right now.
oh, you better. You dump you out for a second.
No, I'll just text her. Go. I'm on call.
So yeah, because my 7100 does peak 50 watts on single sideband on 2 meters. It does 100 on all HF bands and 6 meters. It only does 25 on 70 centimeters, but I think that's pretty typical. So
I'm sorry. What is it that did that?
the 7100
Someone-
that I have, the ICOM IC 7100, is
Text
lower
her.
power on 2 meters and 70 centimeters than the other bands. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to look at mine does. I think mine does maybe 50 on 2 and
yeah, that's what mine does.
440. I have to look.
Yeah,
I've
440
got the-
varies a lot from radio to radio. That particular one I have is 25 watts. So
I do want Jiffy Treat. I get Jiffy Treat tonight. Yay.
well, nice. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm headed quickly toward in the next few years. I want to start wanting to do crazy things like build beam arrays for 2 meters and see what kind of ridiculousness can happen. So
I have seen that, and you can get dangerous with those two.
good. I want to
yeah.
bring up
There's one-
repeaters in freaking Chicago.
Well, see, the biggest problem is that when you start approaching, let's say, the 30 dB gain range, and you're putting in, let's say, you decide to go full legal limit, 1500 watts gives you the
Mhm.
output of about 1.5 megawatts effective
Yeah, which-
radiated power.
Which
That
Which
should
will
brown your
set
toast.
fires to things.
That'll brown your toast.
that has happened before.
wouldn't it be cool if you keyed the mic and set a tree on fire?
Yeah, it's more like old barns, that are constructed with
No.
19-inch rods to
So
hold it
he
together.
is willing to sacrifice a perfectly good tree. Yet when you and I talk about setting fires with lasers, he gets all bent out of shape.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how we can
understand.
afford the lasers.
I own the laser.
Yeah, he owns the laser
Of course he does. I should have guessed.
or rail
It's
gun.
only-
We wanted to build a rail gun, and
I do remember
he was
that.
like, "I don't think that sounds like a good idea."
remember when 3 Old Tech Dudes was the Wild West? Because back then I wanted to cook a hot dog with HF too. So
That would be
in the
cool.
first year,
Well,
it
hot
might be it's like beef with somebody. That'd be cool.
cool. Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez.
So there you
What I
go.
want
There's
from
my
Jiffy
8.
Treat.
There you go.
What do you want from Jiffy Treat? Blue Moon
I
ice
want-
cream.
I want-
Um,
I do want ice cream, but I don't
Jiffy
want-
Tree. I want something from Jiffy Tree.
Yeah.
Well, drive to Jiffy Treat.
Mhm.
Text
Well-
Sarah and go, hey, can you bring me Jiffy Treat?
Let's see.
Be like,
Norman Gregg hung out with us. Nobody else hung out with us.
We're
Yeah.
unpopular.
We're unpopular. Well, maybe.
we're having fun with it. That's all that matters.
Whoa.
I
Like,
see.
I don't, this isn't exactly our livelihood. This is fun.
No, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
looks like we have a viewer on YouTube and a viewer on Facebook.
Well, I am the A viewer on YouTube, so
Oh no.
if it's just down to one, no, I got my thing shows 2, so I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
well, there you go.
what I want to
Well.
here.
Trying to think of anything else to talk about in ham radio land right now.
I don't know.
Logbook's back and it works. And
Yeah.
so I've made some confirmations. I worked Israel and Bolivia last week.
Oh, that's cool.
Bolivia.
Neither of them have confirmed. So
No.
Oh,
I am on the precipice. That's a good word right there.
Ooh.
Precipice of There's something I
Of
can
what?
talk about. Let
Yeah.
me get you in the thing here.
The
Snap.
precipice stuff.
The precipice of.
Yeah.
I can't operate QRZ with everybody looking over my shoulder. Hang on.
Everybody see Timmy's address?
Yeah, I live there.
Like you could Google that.
Exactly.
My favorite of the people, like the YouTubers, are really trying to hide. It's like, do you realize it takes about a second to figure out where you live?
All right.
I was promised a precipice. What's going on here?
I found it. I'm there. I'm showing 93 out of 100 countries confirmed. That means, I got this one confirmed. I worked this last summer. Suriname, right? So there's something that happens in other countries a lot through Club Log, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but if they know their rarer DX like that country, I've worked that one time. I've been running JT65 since 2016 or 17, or FT8 after that. And they will charge like $5 to confirm your contact. And that was one of those. I sent that son of a gun $5 so he confirmed that country for me, because I am so close to DXCC/DX100 on QRZ. So
did he get it for you, or you just sent that to him?
He did it, because this was unconfirmed 3 hours ago. So it was yellow. So this is when I worked. So yeah, I've worked a lot of countries. This is something I never thought I would do in ham radio. So this, all of them in green, I have worked.
I've worked a lot of South America.
Yeah, I have worked all but, well, I've got one not confirmed, but I've only need Guyana and French Guyana. And I'd never even seen Bolivia on the air until last week. And then that guy's like, I only do paper QSL. I'm like, do logbook, you crazy son of a gun. People in Africa can do logbook. All of these are from logbook, by the way. So
yeah, Africa actually has internet. And you're like,
yeah, right? You know where you don't see a lot of hams, and this kind of surprised me? India. Never worked India. And when you look at, and here's something, man, I'm loving this StreamYard thing. Hang on. This is neat. All right. Can you guys see PSK Reporter, this screen here? This is one of my favorite things about FT8. My IC7100 is actually running inside, and these are all the stations I've heard around the world while it's been in there. See where it says down? I don't know if you can see that. It's probably under your pictures. I've heard F5 RRS in France and things like that. And but this thing is cool because you can pick a band and you can go to 2 meters, right? And let's say all FT8 for 2 meters in the last hour. There's something I wish, and since I'm here, Europe is way better at running FT8 on 2 meters than us. Like during the day, this entire freaking area is on 2. Yeah, but you would think people around here would play with it. And this is pretty much what it always looks like, except for up by New York.
Well, yeah. Okay,
people just don't even do it.
In all reality, so there's a lot of hams on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Compared to the center
of the
country. And Europe is a lot more like the East Coast, population density in a lot of areas. So
right. So this is one of my favorite things about running FT8 is that it has PSK Reporter auto spotting, which means if most of us who are on the internet have that turned on.
Yeah.
So all of these are transmissions on 2 meters that I have made that were heard today. Nice. See how far out I get? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, 2 sideband is actually really good. I mean,
and that's right, and that's true. And FT8 course runs on 2 upper sideband on 144. What is it? 174 or 074? One of those two.
That's way long. Yeah,
174. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking about AC9 HP earlier. You can see that I made that contact, but I just wish more people on that, because let's flip this out for a minute. Let's go to all bands, right? And let's set it to something sane. Let's go anyone. Last 30 minutes. You see that? All those lines.
Oh, jeez. A lot going to Europe.
FT8 on HF is a wildly popular thing.
Oh yeah,
around the planet, and these are all
Yeah.
all over
and
the
I
place.
worked FT8 on 10, even with my G5 RV in the backyard.
Yeah.
Central and South America.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of antenna.
No.
I always like to look on 6 meters because I don't work 6, but a couple of the guys in our ham club are like basically they're obsessed with 6 at this point in their ham career because it's the only bands that they haven't worked like everything on. And I can almost guarantee that we're going to find, K9US and WDA-JJA on 6 because they're there all the time. Well, they're right there. So 5314. They're trying to work a bunch of grids because they've worked everything else on Earth. So
well, you've been in ham radio since the dawn of time.
Right, yeah. 20 meters is real hot most of the day, obviously. You can see people all over, but yeah, anyway. I'm gonna use up all this ham radio subject matter in one live. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do with it.
I'm gonna try and shoot some video when I'm putting my ham shack back together because I've got like that TR3 with power supply and speaker.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
And I need to rebuild it. It needs caps bad, but so I've got a whole thing to rebuild that. But that radio looks freaking immaculate, and I mean inside and out. So yeah, it was real. It obviously been put up on a shelf for a long time, but I've got that set up, and then I've got the other. Anyway, I've got the other radios to set up. I've got my 991 Alpha, and then I got that older ICOM. I'm drawing a blank. It's mid 80s ICOM, late 80s. Anyway, the one I fixed that we showed, like I was able to get the board fixed and whatnot. So I got that, and we need to get amateur television going. Fastcam TV.
We do. I've got my deal in here, and I'm actually working on building 2 ham shacks. I'm building one out here and the one in the house. And I'm trying to figure out my antenna scheme, probably with some switches to be able to use my tower out here. Because the only thing that I have a G5 RV, that's my main HF antenna. I had a 10-meter vertical, but it's currently damaged. So I'm going to take it down and put something else up eventually. Because the G5 RV works on all bands, especially with a big roller inductor tuner like I have. But it is more efficient on some bands than others. And it's not real efficient on 10, which I miss 10. I like having a good 10 antenna, and I don't. So I may just build a dipole. So,
well, I've got my R7, which
that's a good antenna. Yeah.
It's vertical, but I mean, it still works. So.
Sure. So I'm going to set up the Kimwood out here and probably the ATV stuff out here and get another little beam in the air. I'm flirting with climbing my tower, which I hate doing because I need to fix the 2-meter 440 vertical and probably add my 221. So
get on up there.
Yeah. I need to get one of those straps where you can lean back. I don't like the lineman used to use, can use both hands. That's what I don't have. I have a safety harness, but that's what it is. Belt. Yeah. So that's on my list.
And if you fall, look, it's not the fall that gets you at all.
You spread your arms out, you'll fall slower.
There you
go.
Wear a parachute.
If you have Justin there, he's got medical stuff with him, so you're fine.
A bunch of helium balloons to myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That could be something fun to play with just for giggles. Let's get one of those helium tanks and just a trash bag. See what we lift with it.
That could be fun.
Probably a lot, but yeah. It's more fun just to breathe it and talk funny, but yeah, sure.
We could use a Arduino and we could build a repeater controller and put 2 bale fangs and rubber band it together and put it on a bunch of balloons and see how high we can get it to work as a repeater. And we'll see it again, but
let's go out the bale fangs where you're really out. Yeah.
Actually, that's fun.
I think Rick and Digital Rick has done that before.
Sounds about right. They have all these APRS balloon things. It's like, no, I just want a 70 centimeter repeater that's 14 miles above the earth or something.
Yeah. Everyone needs that. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, I think I'm out of stuff to talk about. I think I'm going to end the stream. So for all the people not watching, which appears to be a grand total of 0 at the moment, bye. Oh, my
See y'all later,
goodness.
guys. Make sure you